why you made certain purchases. All of these movies, the excitement for this previously must-have title, gone. I'm sorry you're not fulfilling your purpose. What feeds our collecting? Is it for our collection and our enjoyment? Or are we more driven by the anticipation of receiving the new release and having it stored on a shelf? For me, often the pleasure of the anticipation of getting the newest release is often greater than the pleasure of the actual acquisition. So why do I need to continue buying all of these movies? I have to pick these all up. I'd have a great time anticipating that new limited edition box set being released by your favourite boutique label. I'd be going over and over the listing, poring over the nice new extras that were going to be included in this brand new package. Sometimes I'd jump on my phone onto the social media platforms and share my excitement with other like-minded individuals that were all anticipating this great new release. Even if we'd not seen the title, our excitement levels were being pushed further and further up, and that anticipation of getting this terrific release is at fever pitch. Then with the anticipation at an absolute high, I'd order the title, then I'd get hit. Uh-oh. With that big rush of dopamine, the pleasure hormone made me feel great. That release date would then roll on around, I'd get the shipping notification, and again, another hit of dopamine. Then the package arrives. It's thrust into my hands by a courier that would rather punt the parcel over a garden fence than hand it to me at the door. Another hit of dopamine. That package, the thing that I highly anticipated, is in my hands, ready to go. I can unpackage it and it's going to be the best thing ever, right? But often when I received the package and actually held the must-own title, when I got it in my hands and I could touch and feel it, I realised the feeling was pretty empty. The excitement for this previously must-have title was all but gone. Sometimes the title pretty much being put on a shelf and forgotten about. I dreamed for weeks about owning this must-have new limited edition movie or box set. I'd place my pre-order. I'd imagine how great my collection would look with this title in it. It would arrive, I'd perhaps leaf through the booklet, might have a look through the postcards. I'd even possibly get time to put the disc in. Then I'd kind of realise perhaps this movie wasn't a good movie for me. I've been driven by other people's excitement, the anticipation of possibly being able to own this title that others were also clamouring for. But after receiving it, perhaps this movie isn't one for my personal collection. But this must-have title, it would be in my collection. I'd have it. And I've done this loads of times with Arrow titles. I've been swept away by others' excitement about a title that's perhaps the best movie ever for someone. It isn't the best movie for me. I've been drawn into that anticipation of owning a copy of this must-have movie in my collection. But if it's not to my personal tastes, then why do I have it? Why do I get swept away and feel the need to order it? Maybe over time I'd realised that the title wasn't something I particularly wanted in my personal collection. It may be one that I ship off to eBay and get sold. It may just end up sat on my shelf, taking up space and not being used for the rest of its life. I'm sorry you're not fulfilling your purpose. What worries me now is looking back at these behaviours, I feel more like some kind of addict, chasing the thrill of that anticipation of ordering the thing, which actually far, far outweighs my need for that particular thing. Is my brain playing tricks on me, convincing me that I actually need these things? Do I actually want them? I think a lot of my previous ordering habits have been more about the thrill of the thought of having a particular release in my collection, more than the actual release itself. I'm now trying to shift my mindset when it comes to ordering. Now, if I think I want an item, I won't just jump into a pre-order. I'll try to wait a little bit to see if that craving passes, which it often does. If it doesn't, I try to consider if it would be worth trying the thing before actually making an order. Is there a rental option for the title, or is there a previous version that I could perhaps check out first before ordering the new limited edition, upgraded picture quality, super duper special edition that is being released in another couple of months? If I enjoy it and it sparks some joy, then yeah, absolutely, 100% place that order. If not, then maybe I'd consider if it's worth me having this title in my personal collection. Is that feeling of want just down to me wanting that hit, wanting that anticipation, that excitement? I want to be at a point with my collecting habits where most titles will be a little more considered for my own tastes and likes. I don't want to be drawn into ordering just because it's the new big thing and it's perhaps limited. Years ago, we used to just rent our titles before we even had the option to buy. The purchase would often be for something that I'd already seen and knew that I appreciated. But somewhere along the way, my mindset changed and I found myself buying titles blind. We didn't have those high street stores anymore. We didn't have Blockbuster. We didn't have video nights. We didn't have House of Video. Losing those high street stores has kind of escalated my spending on purchasing numerous titles. It led to that addiction of ordering and receiving the dopamine hit for every single title that I ordered. It feels a bit like addiction. Maybe we don't all see it that way, but as I look through my collection, I realise that a large portion has been unnecessary because I think I've always been chasing that excitement, the anticipation of getting something. Sometimes I think I cared more about the excitement of the ordering process and actually receiving something than I did about the thing itself. Is it the pleasure of the anticipation and the excitement of the thought of having certain titles, or are you collecting for your collection and for yourself? Do you ever look back at your collection and wonder why you made certain purchases? Do me a favour, look back, consider your collection, and have a think about your habits and your reasonings as to why you potentially made certain purchases.